Season 7, Episode 2, All Bottled Up.
Which has nothing to do with the last episode.
Yeah, they're completely separate ideas, though. Uh, no, they didn't really even do that. They didn't even try and kind of link them up in any way, shape, or form. They're very, very episodic. So, overall impressions of this one. What this episode seemed to me was they had the Trixie Starlight storyline, which was fine. Trixie had to pick up the idiot ball somewhat in this episode and kind of. You're breathing really hard into the mic.
Sorry.
And kind of almost the devolution of her magic too, because I've never been able to do a transfiguration. Well, you changed. What was it? Rarity's hair from normal to green. You changed that. I don't know if you want to really call that a transfiguration, but it's a thing. But she does have to pick up the idiot ball, but it's a good lesson on Bottled Up. But it feels like they had this little Star Treks kind of episode going, and then realized when they were finishing it up, it wasn't long enough. So they just kind of tacked on the escape room story because it had no conflict. It had nothing to it. I mean, it was basically set up for one joke. They sang a song, and it made them late to finishing the escape room before the Griffin record.
Hey, like Starlight said, they'll probably do some stuff and sing a song.
Yeah. The song was fine enough, but it was really generic. It feels like a bit of a filler song. It was a good song, but just really generic. It had nothing to really do with what they were doing.
I just think that's what the whole joke was, though.
Yeah, maybe. It felt like, oh, we have a quota for songs for the season. We need to keep up with our quota, and that's what that song was.
Here is a song, la 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 la. We are singing a song, la 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 la.
So, yeah, overall, other than Trixie picking up the idiot ball for an episode, teacup. It was a nice enough story on the bottling up anger sort of thing.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the great things about magic and somebody who has yet to learn the thing that, using magic to do shortcuts really doesn't help matters sometimes. When in matters of friendship, magic doesn't help. It often makes things worse.
Yep.
You can't magic away your friendship problems.
He's like, sure, watch me. Poof.
Let's see, what else was there? Let's see, let's kind of go through the episode. So, again, teacup. It's like, I think Trixie would have been really more satisfied with the single teacup. Maybe a couple.
Somebody drew a funny picture where Trixie's turning everything to teacups, and then there's two griffins looking at a giant pile of teacups, and one says, "Legend says this used to be Equestria."
But now it is only teacups.
Teacup.
But I guess she was happy about being able to do the spell that she was. Though it does kind of fly in the face of, you know, most ponies can only have a little. Most unicorns only have a little bit of magic that corresponds to their talent, their special talent. Whereas, that was the whole thing with Twilight, was why she was special was, you know, most other unicorns only have a little bit of magic and it's very specialized. And Starlight was also an exception because, again, she was all magic. Her talent was magic, and so her learning a bunch of spells, you know, kind of makes her a mini Twilight. Which I love that. There's just a little bit of an irritation to her. It's like, all right, go ahead, mini Twilight. Because I mean, in a way, she kind of is. She's Twilight's kind of. I mean, she was the foil before she was redeemed. She was, very similar. They have a lot in common with each other, but the philosophy of Starlight was so much worse. It was so much, well, worse, but it was a bad philosophy, and so the foil needs to be similar to the hero or the protagonist, but with some key philosophy differences that make them worse. And so that's how you could make a good foil. And she was a foil, and now she's been redeemed. She's turning basically into Twilight as her philosophy changes to be more in line with what Twilight is. So she's basically she's becoming a mini Twilight.
Yeah.
Her personality's different, but
She just has to dye her coat purple now.
but let's see. What else is we gonna get into? We get a little bit of information into magic itself, that transfiguration requires being able to picture the object you want it to become in your head, and that magic is often tied to your emotions. So, the more emotional you get, the stronger the magic to an extent. Let's see. And apparently, anger manifests as red magical cloud with lightning. We've never seen this happen with other unicorns, though, and neither has Starlight. So I don't know whether that's just a Starlight thing. I guess it's just a Starlight thing that her anger comes out as a magic lightning.
I mean, normally, as Trixie put it, I think it's Trixie put it, or maybe it was Spike or somebody, like when you enslaved your whole entire town.
Yeah. And some of it may be due to the fact that she's not quite in control of her emotions as well as other unicorns to an extent. She's very... Her magic and her emotions are very intertwined. And she let her emotions help rule her magic for so long that they're intertwined, and it's really hard to control both. When one goes out of control, the other one goes out of control. When her emotions get all wonky, her magic goes all wonky because she hasn't learned how to separate the power boost that emotion gives her magic. Because those were tied in for so long that gave her such power that she hasn't been able to really separate and keep those separate. Rainbow Dash makes this point also in there that we're awesome, but we aren't the last one to save Equestria. Responding to Twi talking about not having to save Equestria for once when they're together. I think you've built up some frequent savior points there, Dashi. Given how many times you've saved Equestria, I think you built up some points there.
Yep. Hey, if you stay with Equestria 10 times, you get a free coffee.
At Donut Joe's. I like that when Starlight is talking to Spike about bottling up her anger, he's cleaning all the new teacups. It's like that was a little nod to earlier, a nod to continuity. He's like, okay, now we've got a lot of teacups. He's got to clean the teacups. There's a nice little nod to that. Let's see. So basically, in this episode, Starlight is literally bottling up her anger instead of talking over with Trixie because she's afraid of what she'd do if she found out how mad she was at her. It's a bit cliche, but it's a good lesson.
Oh, you would never be mad at me.
So they look around at several places. And one of the nice bits was, though, that Starlight is visibly kind of harried by her bottling her anger. It's drained her of a lot of her energy. And Trixie notices, which is very good for Trixie. That's one point where she's not being self-serving. And she tries to pry why the bag is glowing, which leads to the revelation of, you were bottling up your anger, and all the things that she was mad at were released when they infected the jewelry shop pony Granny Smith and Bulk Biceps.
Yeah.
Which I found was interesting, that she gained all her power back. I guess the anger, it's bottling the anger was also taking away some of her power and storing it with the anger, because she was visibly getting more and more harried and kind of tired looking as she was bottling it up. And releasing the anger and taking the anger back in reinvigorated her, but it also meant she had to deal with those emotions. Which, she was initially mad at Starlight. Starlight was originally mad at Trixie, but she realizes she bottled it up, so Trixie couldn't have known that she was angry at her.
Yeah.
One thing though I would like to bring up: how many times is the word nuts said in this episode?
Nuts.
What's said more in this episode, the word nuts or teacup?
Yeah.
That would be an
speaking of
interesting
those,
count up.
speaking of nuts, I kind of want to try cinnamon nuts now.
I'm sure they're good. A little cinnamon sugar.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I wonder what kind of nuts. Maybe walnuts?
I would think peanuts would be good for that,
Yeah.
because they're small and you can get a lot of surface area on them. Though I guess
Yeah.
walnuts do have all those little nooks and crannies you could get stuff in. But peanuts are they're nice and they're very easy to eat a lot of them very quickly without noticing.
Yeah.
And then we got shipping fuel for months. With this Trixie quote: "Listen, I'd take that over the boring pony you were becoming any day. The Starlight I love is passionate, lively, and yeah, sometimes angry. Those are my favorite parts of you. That and the fact that you forgive me every time." So, shipping fuel. I mean, they didn't really do it. It could be just love as a platonic love. I mean, that's what you'd say, but they do like throwing that little bit out there every once in a while, like they did with Lyra
Oh,
Bond.
already drew a remake of that pic where Trixie is behind Starlight.
But let's see. And we find out where the map is because Trixie was thinking about the spa where they first met. Again, more shipping fuel. When they find the map.
Where's the map? I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the...
Stop it. Stop it right now. Pinky and Pinky learns also, they were going through, we learned teamwork and we learned this. And Pinky's like, and when not to sing songs. I doubt that, Pinky, because you're gonna sing songs whenever you darn well please. And that's okay because your songs are usually pretty darn good. But you will sing them whenever. It's just,
And I gotta say, Trixie knows how to provide the snacks.
Yes.
Here's a bag of pretzels, enjoy.
Yes. Anyway. And we close out the entire story, the entire episode with this little exchange. We'll meet you there, to Starlight. Quick, do you have a spell that would make the spa ponies forget that the map table was there? Glimmer comes back with, haven't you learned anything about using magic to solve your problems? No, if we learn that lesson, how will we ever have fun? And they giggle off. You can't solve all your problems with magic. This is a lesson you two gotta need to learn most of all of any of the ponies that we've run into. You two need to learn this best of all. So final thoughts from me. It was an okay episode. Lesson was good. Don't bottle up your anger. You have to deal with them. You have to deal with it. Otherwise, their other person isn't going to know what's making you mad. Again, you have to be tactful about it, but you really should talk to your friends about things that make you mad. If they're really your friends, then you'll be able to work it out to an extent. The B plot with Twilight and the girls is the rest of the main six is just it's a very long joke. It's one very long joke. It's really, there's nothing much there. It's kind of generic, and it feels like it was kind of tacked on to fill out time, as a B plot to fill out time, because the Star Treks thing was written, and it was okay. Trixie's a little bit of an idiot. She has to pick up the idiot ball this episode, but it was okay.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'm worried about with that is they're overexposing Trixie. Trixie needs to be one of those characters that comes out every once in a while. It seems like at this point she's practically living with Twilight. I know her cart was parked just outside the castle, but and I know she's friends with Starlight Glimmer, but it feels like they're overexposing her a little bit, and she loses something when you expose her, when you have her over too many times. Not that some people will complain about having too much Trixie. That's impossible. But anyway, it was okay. It wasn't a great episode. It was, it's no, Crusaders of the Lost Mark or something like that. But it was okay. Any thoughts from you, Midrock?
Bulk biceps has more than one job.
Yeah.
Like I forget who said it's like, I have more than one hat or
He
something.
wears many hats is the phrase.
Oh yeah.
I wear many hats. You know, he's a masseuse. He's a cinnamon nut vendor. Which, thinking about it, also the anger bit. You know, it's very much. It was a Hulk moment. It's like somebody was
I love
already.
this part where it's like, my nuts.
Again, how many times was the word nuts said in this episode? Anyway, that's about all I had. If you don't have anything else, I think that's it for the day.
And next episode, Twilight turns into a dragon.
Spoilers.
I literally just made that up.
I know. I assumed because I don't look at spoilers either. But
I don't find spoilers, but I don't really care if I run into them.
well, that said, I think that's the show for today. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, so goodbye everybody. We'll turn next week with basic programming for 1995 a month.
No. Anyway, have a great day. See you around.
Yeah, ciao.